Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Gunpla News, episode 40 for July 2018. I didn't do a June episode just because I did the May episode kind of in the middle of the month, so just to get back on a normal schedule of doing these like within the first week of the month, I just skipped June, and there really wasn't all that much to talk about. But we do have a lot of stuff that has been coming out lately, so let's go ahead and talk about that. So as usual, we've got 5 different parts in this month's episode. There's going to be the first part talking about some news and stuff related to just Gundam and Gunpla in general. The second part is going to be announcements of new kits and figures that have been announced over the past month and a half. And then there's going to be an updates section where we're going to talk about just updates on things that we have known that are coming out. And so we'll go through all of that. And then the last fourth part is going to be a little bit about some third-party and resin stuff. There's not really all that much that I'm going to talk about with that this month. And then there's just going to be a few featured kits there at the end in the featured section. So there's going to be time codes down below in the description. If you want to skip to a particular section, you can do that at any time. Anyway, guys, as usual, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it with some news stuff. So again, I just want to mention about the shirts in my store. You can check the link for the store down below. I've got some shirts there that are limited release. They're only going to be available still yet till August 1st. There's some really cool artwork here from my friend Barreto. He did a couple of new designs that are having this like big drawing sketch like on the back of the shirt. One is of the Barbatos, and the other one is of the Shining Gundam and Domonkashu. So those are really cool drawings there, so check those out. There's also the winners from my t-shirt design contest. So there's 3 winners from that. Those are also just only going to be available until August 1st. And then there's the Gundam series designs that I made myself that are just like big logos like for each of the different Gundam series. Not all of them are represented there, but most of them. And there's 2 different versions. There's like just the black color version where like the print is just in black, and then there's a color camo version, and the color camo ones I'm only going to have on there until August 1st as well. So check those out if you guys haven't. Thank you to those of you guys who have been buying those. Just in case some of you have maybe missed me talking about those in the past, I just wanted to let you guys know again for anyone who may be interested in those. Also, there's the custom Haropla contest that I announced, and that's been going. I've got around 50 entries already so far of people who have at least sent their entry email to let me know that they're planning on entering the contest. So it's going pretty well. It's off to a good start. And again, just thank you to USA Gundam Store for sponsoring that contest. Guys, you can go back and check that video out if you missed that. It's just basically a contest where it's open to making some custom kits using the Haropla. And I'm actually planning on making my own kit as well. Obviously, I can't enter my own contest, but just for fun, I have a Haropla and I have a cool idea of something that I want to do with that. So I'll be doing mine and try to get mine done as well by the deadline so I can maybe show you guys once that's done. But that's due September 1st, so you guys still have a month and a half or more, almost 2 months for that. Also, speaking of USA Gundam Store opened a branch website called USA Otaku Store where they're going to be selling more kind of like figures and Nendroid and things like that. So if you guys are into that stuff, check out that site. I'll put the link to that down below as well, but it's simple, just USA Otaku Store. It's kind of just getting going, so it may not have like a lot of stuff on there at the moment, but maybe just bookmark it or something and just check back later and see what they've got. Alright, now on to some Gundam stuff. The Gundam Build Divers Blu-ray Box Set Volume 1. I'm not sure about, anytime there's always like these Blu-ray box sets, I always mention them, but I feel like, I don't know if any of you guys actually ever buy these, because they're just like the Japanese versions. So, but I guess if you like really want the limited items that's included with them, then that's cool, but they're so expensive. I kind of doubt that anyone actually buys these who watches this video, but if you guys do, maybe let me know. But anyway, this one is coming out in September for 30,000 yen, so almost $300. But it does come with a exclusive Gunpla. It comes with the HG 00 Diver in Golden Dive Sparkle Clear. So it's just like a kind of gold sparkly clear version of the 00 Diver kit, which is a $10 kit. And now you can get it with the Blu-ray Volume 1. It's not like it's the full Blu-ray box set for around $300. Sounds like a deal, right? And the last thing here is about a new book that's out this month, the Gunpla Modeling Guide Build Divers Edition. So this is just going to be like a book of sample builds. As far as I know, it's from Hobby Japan. So you can check that out if you're interested in just like seeing some nice like professional models of some of the first in the Build Divers line. And this book is again out this month for 1,000 yen. That's actually quite cheap. So I can't imagine it's going to be a very big book, but maybe like a pretty thin, like a magazine, or like less than a Japanese magazine even. So just in case you guys are interested, I'm sure you can find that online. And with that, let's just move on right into the announcements. So there's a lot of stuff. As usual, we're going to kind of go in the order of, I'm just going to talk about some Gundam Base Limited stuff here first, and then onto some figure stuff, and then P Bandai stuff, and then the normal release stuff. So First off, all of the Gundam-based limited items that have been announced recently. The Master Grade Sazabi Verka special coating version is out this month for 18,000 yen. Very expensive, around $170, $180. But yeah, it's the Master Grade Sazabi Verka already is a pretty expensive kit, and anything like the special coating version is always adds a lot onto the price tag. So with this, it does look really cool though. It's all in like this like candy coats red. It looks really nice. It's the kind of thing that we've seen people do, just like painting the kit by themselves. I'm sure you probably have seen it online a dozen times. But if you can't be bothered or just don't have the means to paint it yourself, then you can always get this. It's obviously going to cost a lot, but in actuality, it's probably going to cost a lot less than commissioning someone to paint it for you if you really wanted like a candy coat red metallic looking Sazabi. Not sure how the nubs are going to be on that because I don't remember offhand how much of that kit is undergated. I imagine it's not going to be too bad though. Again, if you can't make it yourself and you want a cheaper option than hiring someone to commission it for you, I can see why this would maybe be a viable option. Moving on, the Gundam-based limited HD Iron Blood Orphans Gundam Astroth Rinascimento Iron Blood coating version. Now, this one is very peculiar about the price because this one is also out this month for 3,500 yen. This kit, if I remember correctly, was 1,400 yen, either 12 or 1,400 yen. So this is almost triple the price of that, more than double the price. For this iron blooded coating. Now, I'm not sure what the coating on this is because it looks like from the pictures that maybe a couple parts are actually coated. The majority of it just looks like it's like molded in just like this kind of metallic silver kind of plastic. And usually when it's just like a remold, even like the clear versions, it's just the same parts, and there's no extra coating sprayed on it. It's just the same parts, just molded in a different color. Usually that barely increases the price a little bit or nothing at all. A lot of the clear kits are like the same price as the normal version kits because there's really nothing different except the color of the plastic they're using. So it doesn't cost anything more for Bandai to make that. But in this case, 3,500 yen for that. I'm wondering if that's even a mistake. I mean, yeah, it's a limited Gundam-based exclusive kit, so maybe that's why it's more expensive, just because it's like a limited item, but to be that much more expensive, I don't know. I've got my doubts about that. I have a feeling that maybe that I saw that like reported wrong online or something. But hey, I mean, it looks kind of cool. But again, it's like the same thing that you could just do yourself. Just get the kit and paint it all in like gunmetal. Moving on to another coated kit. This is the Gundam-based limited real grade Unicorn Gundam in gold coating version. So this is basically like a gold coated Phoenix, but without the Phoenix parts. So it's just the Unicorn. And the cycle frame looks like it's like kind of orange. It looks like it's kind of hard to tell in the photos, but it looks pretty cool, I have to say, and it is kind of giving me some ideas. I'm not saying that I'm going to gold plate one of my kits with a unicorn, but it's got me thinking about some ideas of what to do with a unicorn here with this. It looks nice, and it should be pretty nice in terms of the undergating on that. I think that most of that armor parts on that kit are undergated, if I remember correctly. So you got that, and this one is out next month in August for 8,000 yen. So this one also is like double the price of the regular real grade unicorn, but again, anything that is like coated or plated, that does add a lot to the price, unfortunately. So that doesn't, I mean, that's still pretty expensive, but I can at least, it makes sense based on trends of Bandai's sales in the past. And the last thing here, Gundam-based limited debris parts set. This is already out, but this came out like during the time between episodes, so I actually couldn't talk about this before, but this is 2,000 yen for this set of debris parts. It looks pretty nice, actually. It's pretty cool. You get like an action base with this and these debris parts that you can have around there, so making like this cool space scene with your kid. And it actually looks really nice, I think, if you didn't want to be bothered building these parts by yourself. I mean, 2,000 yen to just buy these. It's relatively easy enough to just make using plot plate by yourself, but that's like at least a few hours or a few days worth of work to build this stuff. 2,000 yen in comparison is not that bad to just buy it. So I think that's those are pretty cool. I don't know if I'll actually pick up a set for myself, but if the situation called for it, that I wanted to do some diorama or something using something like that, I would consider maybe buying one of those. All right, and then we also have the Perfect Grade Gundam G3 extra finish version. Now this one is also like a limited item there in Tokyo. This one is 24,000 yen. It's basically just the Perfect Grade RX-782 Gundam, but molded in G3 colors, but it's also got an extra finish on that. So yeah, that's why it's very, very expensive. I believe that's around double the price of the regular PG Gundam there for that. Okay, and then there's the DX Soft Vinyl RX-78-2 Gundam and Zaku set. These are very cute, very cool set of the Gundam and the Zaku in like the old 1979 like proportions and look to them. Very adorable. And this is out in October for 2,700 yen. They definitely look really nice, and 2,700 yen doesn't seem outrageous at all for the set of the two of those, and they're like kind of about like this high, 8 or 10 inches or so. So definitely not a bad option if you want something cool and fun, retro to put up on your shelf. Moving on, there's the Metal Robot Damashi Ka Signature S Gundam Booster Unit Option Parts Set. There's no price or release date announced for this yet, but it's just option parts to turn your Metal Robot Damashi Ka Signature S Gundam into the booster type, where it's just without the legs, and it's got the boosters for the legs, and it's got kind of, I think, different boosters. The booster unit on the backpack is different as well. It's the same as with the XS, not the S Gundam. So yeah, it's a cool set and looks pretty nice. Actually, that figure looks like a really, really good representation of the S Gundam, and I wouldn't mind having that, like, if I really want to like the perfect looking S Gundam, to like some photography or something of that. But I'm sure, if I had to guess, this part set will probably be around 7,000 yen, if I had to guess, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Other Robot Damashi news, there's the Robot Damashi Zaku 2 Wetland type version anime. So this is another in the version anime line. This one's out in October for 6,500 yen. These seem to come out like once a month, basically. And this one does look pretty cool. It's the Zaku 2, and I believe, if I'd have to look at it again more closely, but I believe the Zaku 2 is the same as the previously released Zaku 2 anime version, but it's obviously got different colors. It's got a really cool, interesting color scheme. This wetland type, I'm not sure if I've ever seen the wetland type Zaku 2 before, but it looks pretty cool. It also has some different weapons and accessories for that too. It's got like that really cool, like handheld, just like box of missiles, I guess is the best way I can describe that. So that one does look pretty nice. And then there's also going to be the Robot Damashi Hygog version anime. This one is out the next month in November, for 7,400 yen. So everyone loves the Hygog. It would be really awesome if maybe we someday got a Master Grade Hygog. That would be pretty cool. Even if it was an RE, that'd be cool as well. I think it'd be really awesome as a Master Grade though. Usually I'm kind of like, if it's like a little bit more obscure design like that, if it goes MG, RE, I don't really care either way, as long as it's a cool 1/100 scale representation of that. I think it'd be pretty nice. Though the Hygog, I think, would definitely be much more interesting and much more fun kit as a full-on Master Grade. I'm not sure if that will ever happen, but fingers crossed. Anyway, the Robot Damashi version anime will be out in November anyway. Then moving on to Converge stuff, there's the Converge EX24 La Frisia. A lot of F91 stuff coming out lately, and this one included. So this is coming out in November for 3,200 yen. You guys know I love Converge stuff, but this is one that I actually may skip just because I'm not really too into it, and it's not really so much of a mobile suit as like this like spaceship with a bunch of guns and stuff. So I'm not, I don't know. It's really hard for me to resist not buying something Converge, but I'm thinking like I might just pass on that. But it does look pretty cool if that's something you're into, if you're a big fan of F91. That'll look really cool, like especially if you have some of the other Converge figures from the line Converge F91 Gundam or the Vigna Gina or something. There's also going to be a P Bandai Converge option parts set of the option parts for La Frisia, as well as the Heavy Gun mobile suit, and that disc purple UFO thing with that. So this one is also out in November for 2,400 yen. So this doesn't include the actual La Frisia mobile armor. You have to buy that as well as this option parts set. So in total, that'd be over $50, around $60 for that, for the whole set. If you're into like tentacle porn or something, there's just like all the little funnel bits, I guess, or like tentacles or something coming out of that. And yeah, the Heavy Gun does look really cool as well, just as a separate little Converge figure. I wouldn't mind getting that if that just came out in a regular Converge set. But I'll just say that I am looking forward to finding out what the Gundam Converge EX25 release is going to be. And then we've got the Exceed model Zaku Head Volume 5. This one is coming out in September for 500 yen each. So yeah, Bandai keeps making these different versions of the Exceed Zaku Head. And it was months and months and months ago that we saw teased prototypes for the Exceed Gundam heads, but they just gave up making those apparently, and they're just going to keep making different versions of the Exceed Zaku heads. And what they are, just different recolors of that. They're not even adding any different details or anything. They've got basically the version without a commander antenna, the one with the commander antenna, and then the one with the high mobility type commander antenna, I think it is. It's just the two different type commander antennas for that. And that's it. I really wish that if they're I mean, these are really cool and really fun little things to collect, and especially if you want to like repaint them up and anything like that, they're really cool as well. So I obviously don't think that they're releasing them as like intending for people to repaint them, because that's the whole point of releasing them in different colors and with different markings on them for people just to collect them, maybe collect their favorites. But I really wish that they would try just changing up the details on some of them, or just making them a little bit different, just so that it's not all exactly the same. But anyway, this one is including the MS06F Zakuto, the ground type Zakuto, and the R6 Zakuto. So yeah, there you go. And the last little kind of toy figure thing here is the Gundam Mobile Suit Gundam Forte Volume 7. This one is going to be including the Strike Gundam, the Buster Gundam, the Jin, I think a different version of the Jin, and then the Devil Gundam, which is like the SD, kind of like Devil Gundam anyway. These are kind of interesting, and I think these are 300 yen each, though these are just like a capsule toy kits that you can get, or obviously if you're buying them as a set, you buy like a set of like 10 of them or something probably. So those will be out in October for anyone interested in that. Alright, so let's get into the P Bandai announcements. The first thing here is a couple of White Dingos. We had the P Bandai Master Grade GM White Dingo's Colors version coming out in September for 3,600 yen. Now this one is basically just the Master Grade GM 2.0, but the cool thing about it is that it actually comes with the shield and the machine gun of the ground type Gundam, so that's pretty interesting. It does give you a little bit variation instead of just the regular GM shield and the GM what's called the beam handgun. Anyway, that very weak, wimpy looking gun that the regular GM has. I'm sure that's probably included with this kit. You could use that if you want, but I like the fact that it comes with the different ground type weapons for that. And then there's also going to be the P Bandai Master Grade GM Cannon in White Dingo colors as well. This one also coming out in September for a little bit more, for 4,000 yen for this one. So I think this is the third or fourth different variation that we've seen of the Master Grade GM Cannon come out, all P Bandai, of course. But yeah, this one's now in white and gray White Dingo's colors, and coming with some White Dingo's markings, of course, for both of those as well. Next one here, this one is going to be a little bit of a tongue twister, so bear with me. The P Bandai RE100 Vignagina Bera Rona Special. I think that's correct. Anyway, and this one is coming out for 4,000 yen. It hasn't set the release date for that yet. I would imagine September, I want to say. I want to guess September. Possibly October, but anyway, this is just a variation of the RE100 Vignagina. If you're wondering if I'm going to be reviewing that kit, I'm not. I didn't get it. I just don't like it. I just don't really look... I don't like the original design. I thought, well, if the kit looks cool, I'll try it, but the kit didn't really look that great either, so I just passed on that one, and so I'm going to pass on this one as well. It's just like a red version of that with like the kind of gold stickers and stuff on it, kind of similar to like the Zabi custom versions that we saw like of the Zaku and the Dom and the Goof that came out a couple years back. But yeah, it looks pretty ugly, and so I can't imagine that one's going to sell particularly well. But anyway, moving on to the P Bandai HGC Johnny Ridden's Gelgoog. This one is out in September for 2,000 yen. So this is a continuation of the Ace Pilot Log series, but this time they're moving it from Master Grade into High Grade, unfortunately. If this was a Master Grade and came with waterside decals and things, I probably would consider buying this, just even though I'm not really a big fan of Johnny Ridden's color scheme, so I'm not really a big fan of like buying Johnny Ridden mobile suits. It just makes me wonder if the Uma Lightning Master Grade Gelgoog kit didn't sell that well, so Bandai was a little bit nervous about doing more Ace Pilot Log P Bandai Master Grade Gelgoog releases, so they're like, well, just in case, let's do something a little bit less risky in terms of the cost and just do it with the high grade instead of the master grade. I hope that's not the case, and I imagine the Uma Lightning's Gelgoog sold pretty well because it's a pretty badass looking suit, but for whatever reason they're releasing this as a high grade. The new parts for it do look pretty cool, but it's still based on a little bit of a dated high grade kit. Just the high grade compared to the master grade. The master grade is so good. The high grade is passable, so I'm just wishing that this was a Master Grade release. Hopefully when they do continue on with some more Ace Pilot Log P Bandai Gelgoog releases, there will be Master Grades in the future, but for the time being we've got that one. We've also got the HGC Shin Matsunaga's Gelgoog Jaeger, this one as well. We don't have any Master Grade Gelgoog Jaeger at this point. There's probably some resin conversion kit for it or something, but This would have been a really great opportunity, albeit P Bandai, to give us a Master Grade Goku Jaeger, and then they could do other different variations of that as well. But unfortunately, this one as well also just HGUC. This one is cheaper though, it's 1,500 yen, just because I think it's less new parts included with this actually. Whereas the Johnny Riddens one did have a handful of new parts. I think this one is pretty much just a color scheme swap. And of course it'll have some like marking stickers or something, but I'm sure no waterside decals with that. Next thing is the P Bandai HGUC Zeta Gundam UC0088 version. This one I think shocked a lot of people when it was first announced, but this one is coming out in September for 2,200 yen. Just because it's barely noticeable what's different from the original kit. Bandai even had to put out like some special images. I even saw like this, I think it was on Bandai's Twitter or something. It was like an actual GIF showing like the images like transitioning of just like an image of the original like Revive Zeta kit and then this kit, so you could actually see like within the same image like shifting back and forth to see the differences in it, because they're very, very slight. It's just a little bit different details, and it's actually quite a lot of the kit has changed, but it's just such minor changes it's not really all that noticeable, like the shoulders, the head, the chest, the side of the legs, the wings on the backpack. And here's the kicker. Here's the real kick in the nuts. Probably the biggest complaint about the original HGUC Revive Zeta kit, for me anyway, was the fact that they didn't mold the edge of the wings in a different color to make them red. You just had these red stickers going on that. Of course, you can mask and paint, obviously, but you can save yourself the trouble of masking if they would have just made that a separate part. Just the fact that it's this really fantastic kit and it transforms really nicely, and it's such a good kit overall. The fact that they didn't just put in that tiny little bit of extra effort to just make that a separate part on the wings to have the red tip. But for the P Bandai version, they will do that. So it is a separate part on this P Bandai version. So if you never bought that kit, the HGUC Revive Zeta kit, or it's like the Gunpla Evolution Project Zeta kit, then just buy this version because it's better. It has a little bit different angles and everything, and I actually like the slight changes to the design. I actually prefer this version over the regular one. So if I had a choice between the two, I would definitely recommend getting this. One's going to be more expensive being a P Bandai kit, but I think it does look nice, and it is a really nice kit if you're a fan of the Zeta. There's also the P Bandai HG Iron Blood Orphans couple of kits here, the different versions of the Graze Ritter. These ones aren't coming with any extra parts, they're just different colors. So there's the McGillis Core version and the Carta Core version, and these are both coming out in September for 1,200 yen each. So yeah, just color swaps, basically nothing really special. It's just kind of Bandai wanting to milk a few Iron Blood Orphans kits a little bit more. Nothing wrong with that, but if you just, I mean, if you paint or anything, then it's not really going to be too much of a point to buying those. Alright, and now on to all of the new, just standard release stuff, and there's some pretty interesting stuff here. It's pretty much just all Build Divers, actually, so if you aren't really a big fan of Build Divers, then there's really nothing for you for now, anyway. There is the HG Build Divers Astray No Name. This one is coming out in August for 1,800 yen. It's a pretty interesting design. There's a lot of interesting aspects to it. I kind of like the kind of black cape looking bit like over the side, and like the head with like the V fin like folding over. It's got like this really kind of interesting shape to it. I'm cool with that. That all looks pretty cool. And it's like the big part that jumps out to me that I really dislike about the design of it is the big white parts on the side of the left arm and on front of the left leg. It just looks really awkward and out of place. I get that it's supposed to be like kind of like two-tone and asymmetrical. And also one of the guys in my Discord pointed out that this looks to be based off of the Lord Astray. So that's interesting. There hasn't been any actual kit of the Lord Astray to come out. It's a pretty interesting design, and so you can see like the parts of like the base of this kit. It has all the same details of that, it looks like. We also talked about it possibly being a reference to The Man with No Name from the Dollars trilogy, like Fistful of Dollars, in those movies with Clint Eastwood, where his character is the man with no name. Often has like his like cape, or what is that, a poncho, like kind of off to one side like that, and then wearing like a low brim hat or something. And so I could see how maybe that's possible as a reference to that. That would be cool if it is, because fantastic movies, but I don't know, I would imagine that there would be some other sort of like Western element to the design other than that, if it was an actual reference to that. Whether it is or it's not, it looks like an interesting kit. I'm not sure if I'm going to get that or not. It depends. I really don't like those big, huge, white, chunky parts on the left side of it, though. And to go along with that, in the next month, in September, for 800 yen, you're going to be able to get the No Name Rifle as an HG Build custom set. So this is just like the same some parts of the No Name Astray, but in this case they're just all molded in gray and instead of black. And this one also looks kind of interesting as something that you could maybe use for stuff. I kind of wonder how it's going to be able to be used with different kits though, because it should have a pretty specific like attachment mechanism for attaching onto the shoulder of that specific kit. So I wonder how they're going to do this, they're going to make it like able to be used with other kits and without like having to do some serious modification to either the option part set or the base kit. But it's a pretty interesting looking set nonetheless. And then we have the HD Build Divers Build Diver Girl model. This is the tentative name. We don't have the official name for this yet. This one is out in September for 2,400 yen. 2,400 yen has been like the standard price for all of the different China Guy, wasn't it? Yeah. And the different Fumina kits have all been 2,400 yen if I remember correctly. So this one, I have to say though, it seems like Bandai is improving slightly. It does look a little bit better. I like the fact that they actually give you 3 different option faces for this, so that's definitely a step in the right direction. The actual construction and posability of the kit though, I think is where it's probably still going to be suffering the same as the other kits did, where it just didn't really look good most of the time when it's posed up. But it does look overall not too bad. The inclusion of the different face options is nice, and I also like the fact that the gun is like shaped like an airbrush. That's pretty just fun. I like a little fun aspect of that, so this does make this a little bit more interesting. I kind of already decided that I wasn't going to really bother with any more of those kits from the Build Fighters line. I didn't get the Rinko kit, and I didn't get the last of the Fumina kits either, and I just kind of have given up on those, but I think I will get this one because it does, at the time being, anyway, it looks pretty nice actually, nicer than before. Definitely still not as nice as what Kotobukiya is doing, but at least Bandai seems to be slowly learning a little bit. Well, I think they're probably just trying to avoid just straight up copying off of Kotobukiya too hard, because they can't just like, I mean, I'm sure they could engineer something that's like on the same level as what Kotobukiya does, but then it's like, that's a little bit too close. I mean, they're obviously already kind of like copying off it already. But next we have the HD Build Divers Jagen Ass Blaster. The Blast Master. So this one, I have to wonder if this is an upgrade or like a new suit for the pilot of the Jim 3 Beam Master. I would have to guess. It obviously has a similar name and also a similar color scheme, being orange. So this is a version of the Jagen, and it has some interesting elements to it, kind of like of the Double X Gundam, of course, with like the solar panels and the big cannons, and then the bottom of its feet are also cannons, and it's got a big cannon in the chest and on its head, and it's a little bit overkill in my personal opinion. It's a little bit too crazy, like McDonald's toy looking for me. This one also out in September for 2,000 yen. Anyway, I don't know about that. We'll see if I end up really wanting to review that one or not. This next one, though, is probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most out of this new round of HD Build Divers release. This is the HD Build Divers Impulse Arc, and this one is out in September as well for 1,900 yen. So this one does look really interesting. Of course, I just really love the color scheme, that like dark purple color scheme with like the bright orange accents on it. Look really nice. I really love that big, huge gun, but what I'm really worried about is its ability to hold that gun, because it's very large and very long. And I think it's probably not going to weigh a whole lot, but just the fact that it's that big, if you're trying to do like a shooting pose with that, I'm sure it's going to weigh down the arm and it's not going to be able to hold that up. I have a feeling. We'll have to see when the kit comes out to be sure. The Impulse Gundam as just like a base kit is a really nice kit. The Revive Impulse Gundam is a really nice solid kit, but I don't remember the shoulders being really particularly strong on that kit. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be an issue with this release. We'll have to see though. Really cool look though. I love the fact of like the kind of energy tank like on the back of the rifle, and then it's got like 2 extra ones stored on the back of the skirt. Really cool look to that, and those being white, just like to offset just like the purple and a couple little bright colors accents on this. The color design, the design on this one is really nice. It's right up my alley. I like it a lot, so I'm looking forward to that one. And then there's also the HD Build Divers Impulse Gundam Ranch.
It's nice the first couple of bites.
I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. Maybe I just got salad on the mind, but this one is also out September for 1999. This seems like it's like a sister unit with the Arc, because there's a lot of similarities. They're both based on the Impulse Gundam, and they both kind of have like some like tanks stored in the backpack, and it's almost like the Arc is like the long range attack unit, and the Ranch is the close range attack unit, because it just has the big shield and this big kind of like lance spear weapon. Also, let's just take a minute to point out the back of the shield. What is going on with that? It just looks awful. It's just gaps, empty gaps. Like, so you're gonna have to be doing a lot of puttying or something to make that shield look nice, at least from the back. From the front, it looks fine, but if you're looking at it from the back, man, that looks pretty ugly. This one as well also looks quite interesting. I'm not as into this as the Arc, but I think this will be pretty cool. And yeah, I haven't seen in the anime, or I'm guessing that maybe these haven't appeared in the anime yet, possibly even, but I would imagine they're like a team or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys. And then we have the upgrade to the main mobile suit of the series, the HD Build Divers 00 Sky. This one is out in August for 1,500 yen. This one is interesting. There's a lot of aspects that I like and a lot of aspects that I don't like. Just the proportions of just making it a little bit more bulky is cool. And like the cannon and the sword thing, kind of similar to like the Destiny, how it has a big sword, a big cannon on the backpack. It has something like that. But they kind of like swing down under the GN drives on the shoulders, which is pretty cool gimmick, and those look pretty nice. But then other aspects of it I'm not really into, like the new parts on the front of the shins and the sides of the arms, how they have like the 3 holes in there, just looks kind of ugly. Other aspects of the design, it's just kind of ugly. I really don't like the face and the chest of it, actually, to be honest, really all that much either. Just the design of that, and like the top of the chest has that green segment, kind of reminds me of like the double X Gundam has like the green, or the X Gundam, the green part on the top of the chest. So I don't know. There's some parts I like, some parts I don't like. It's kind of all I can say. 1,500 yen though, it's definitely more affordable. I like that they're keeping the main Gundam from the series, like the cheapest kit. The 00 Diver is just 1,000 yen. This new version is 1,500 yen. While the other kits in the line are all 18, 19, 2,000 yen for those. So that's nice. There's also going to be a different version of this. There's the HD Gundam 00 Sky.
Higher Than Sky
Phase version. I'm not really sure what they were thinking with that name, but Higher Than Sky Phase. There you go. This one's coming out in August as well for 2,200 yen, so it's definitely a lot added onto the price tag for not really all that much in terms of new parts for the kit. As far as I can tell, it's basically just the addition of the effect parts, or very noticeable effect parts there on the side. Those are cool. And the kit is all just molded in slightly different colors. The blue is in like this really light, bright blue, which looks really nice, and the white is molded in, it looks like gloss injected white. I'm not really too into that, to be honest, but it's not really all that noticeable, fortunately. And then like the colors on the chest, the yellow is changed to like this really fluorescent green looking color. It's really cool. I really like the colors of this version, and the effect parts do look really nice on this. So between the two, I'll maybe get this version to review for you guys, because I definitely like this one a lot more. And the last thing here is the SD Build Divers. It's the first in the SD Build Divers line so far. This one is the RX-0 Maru. This one's out in August as well for 1,800 yen. It's sort of like a kind of Sengoku version of the unicorn in SD form, kind of. It has like a unicorn mode and destroy mode. And it also can like transform into like a full-on regular like HG kind of kit too as well. So right now we're not really seeing too much about it, just like a couple of prototype images here, but it's interesting. Not really something that I'm personally into, but if you're into that sort of theme of style, then I can see how that might be interesting for some of you guys. Okay, so let's move on into all of the updates. And I first just want to start off by talking about the stuff that's coming out this month, because we've got new information and things about that. There are these things coming out this month. So the first thing is the Next Edge style Gundam Mark V. There's not really anything new in terms of new images or anything of this, but I just want to remind you guys that it is coming out this month. I am planning on getting that, but I probably won't actually get it here until maybe the end of September or something like that, around that time. But I'm looking forward to that. I love the Mark V, and I think that's going to be a pretty cool figure. Next thing is the Master Grade Jagen is out this month, so finally it looks pretty cool. We're seeing some sample images of what it looks like, just built up and stickered up. And yeah, it looks pretty nice, pretty solid and everything, but I don't think it's going to be anything like too crazy in terms of gimmicks or anything like that. It's going to be pretty simple, sort of similar to the Gym Sniper 2, the Gym Sniper Custom, the kits we've seen out recently. And so I think it's going to be a pretty nice Master Grade. And then of course, we'll just wait for the P-Bandai variants to start coming out. Still no word about any of those yet, but I think they're just, again, we're just waiting until the base kit is out before they start teasing people, because if they release news about like 2 or 3 different P-Bandai kits out already, then people won't buy just the base kit as soon as it comes out. I think by holding off the news of any P-Bandai releases, then people who are anxious to get a Master Grade Jagen will just buy the base kit straight away when that comes out, and then Bandai will be like a month later, hey, we've also got these P-Bandai versions coming out too, and they're like, oh, I gotta get that one too. so they can sell two instead of just one. So anyway, I think that's Bandai's strategy on that. Smart strategy, but it does keep us waiting, like, what's going to be the first P Bandai variation, because we know there's going to be them. We just wonder which one it's going to be. Which one would you guys like to see? Of the many different variations of the Jagan, what would you guys like to see as a P Bandai variation? I know one that I could definitely rule out. I definitely don't think that we'll be getting an Ewok Jagan coming out as a Master Grade. That's probably very unlikely. But an Echoist type Jagan, I could definitely see that being a possibility, because Unicorn's very popular. There's also the HGC Biollante out this month as well. It's not really going to be anything too new or crazy about that. It does have a few new parts to it, but it's pretty much just all parts, basically combining parts from the Biollante Custom and the Biollante Isolde, and then a few new parts thrown in there. It's just got the new color scheme. Whatever the case is, I'm really looking forward to building my, my fourth or fifth different version of the HGC Biollante that I've got now. I love that kit so much, and so I'm always anxious to build another one. There's the HG The Origin Jim Guard Custom out this month as well. This is the first in the different versions of the HG The Origin Jim line, and some of them are P Bandai, but this one is not, so this one should be pretty cool. It's got obviously the big massive shield. One thing that I didn't really see promoted about this for a while at the beginning, and now we're seeing more pictures of it now, is that it also comes with two little beam daggers as well. So that's a pretty cool, interesting weapon to come with this instead. It's kind of better, or just different. It's nice that we have something different than just the standard beam saber. It's just these little beam daggers, so I like that. It's something different. What I'm also anxious to see is the weight issue of holding the shield. Everybody knows, like, the GPO2 is just like impossible to hold up the giant shield, and anything with a big giant shield is just an awkward thing to hold, and especially to hold in the air. So I'll have to see if that's going to be an issue for this kit. I assume it will be, but I wonder if they've introduced some sort of gimmick to keep it like solid on the hand or something so that it can actually hold it in the air. We'll have to see. There's also the HD Build Divers Gundam Gian Ultron. I won't be getting this kit just because it's really not to my personal taste at all. It looks kind of interesting, to be sure, and I can see how some people would be interested in that, but for me, I'm just interested about this much in that kit, and so I'm just going to pass on that. It looks like it's just going to be, you know, it's just tons of stickers and just a really weird design, but people have theorized that it may lead to getting a just regular release of just an HD Ultron kit. That'd be cool. If that comes out, I'd be into that. I like it because I like the Ultron, but this version, not so much. HD Build Divers Galbaldi Rebake is also coming out. I'm much more interested in this one. Just reviewed the Galbaldi. It's a really nice, solid kit, and this one is just kind of a very interesting design to this one. It's very bulky and very big, so I'm interested to see how this one works, and that'll be a fun one to check out, I think. And then in the HG Build custom line, there's the Binder gun. It's like an interesting mix of like sword kind of parts that combine to make a sort of gun thing, or you can use them as like sword things. Yeah, I won't be getting that one either, but that's also coming out this month. And then there's the SD Cross Silhouette Zaku 2. So I actually just got the first couple cross silhouette kits here, so I'll be reviewing those for you guys soon. I didn't get the Crossbone, but I got the ARC-782 Gundam and the Nightingale, so I'll be reviewing those for you guys. Depending on my thoughts about those, we'll kind of I'll base my opinion on my decision on whether I'm going to get the Zaku 2 or not, or like any of the other ones in the line. I just want to get a feel for how the kits are in the line before I decide, you know, how many of them I really want to take the time to build and review for you guys, because the SD Extended line was kind of, just felt like kind of a waste of time. They were just not really good kits, not really well received by anyone, and I'm sure the cross silhouette kits are going to be much better than that. But if it's just not something that I'm really too into, then I just kind of won't really bother with it. So we'll see how I feel about the first couple. The Zaku does look really nice though, so if I really like the Gundam and the Nightingale, then maybe check out the Zaku as well. Okay, so let's get into other stuff. Figures and things coming out in the next few months here. Out in August is the Metal Build Strike Gundam for 2,400 yen. If you guys are into the Metal Build line, this one does look equally cool and interesting as other kits from the Metal Build line have been. It's just the Strike Gundam, and yeah, 2,400 yen. It's double the price of the Perfect Grade. But yeah, if you wanted a really super nice looking Strike Gundam, then there you go. There's the Metal Robot Spirits Wing of Light and High Mat Full Burst Effect set coming out in October for 1,500 yen. That's 5,800 yen, sorry. That's quite a name there. That's just option parts for the Strike Freedom Gundam. So again, if you have that Metal Robot Spirits not Metal Build. Metal Build Strike Freedom effect parts came out last year. This is effect parts for the Metal Robot Spirits Strike Freedom Gundam. And then there's the Formania X GP01FB Gundam Zephyranthus Full Burner figure bust thing coming out in September for 30,000 yen. There you go. These Formania X busts are quite big, very detailed, and all pre-painted, so I mean they're pretty nice, but man are they expensive. Whew! Is the Metal Robots Damashi Infinite Justice Gundam coming out as well in September for 1,300 yen. For that, sorry, 13,000 yen. I keep getting my tongue twisted here on these numbers. But yeah, 13,000 yen is pricey, but again, these Metal Robot Damashi figures have like some metal die-cast parts integrated with them, so I guess that adds a lot to the price of them, unfortunately. Then moving on to Gundam Converge. Gundam Converge Series 12 is out in October for 5,400 yen. That's for a box of 10, so it breaks down to about 500 yen each for those. This one is coming with the F91, the Banshee in Destroy Mode, the Sandrock EW, the Goof, the Denangei Black Vanguard. As always, I'm looking forward to that set. I'm wondering if they just gave up with the secret versions of the Converge figures. Sometimes, like, if you would buy a box, like, or just randomly, there would be secret versions. It's basically just, like, different color versions of those. If there would be, like, a Harrison version of the F91 or something, that would be cool. But it kind of seems like that they just don't do that anymore with the secret versions of these. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen anything about that for a while, so maybe they don't. And there's the Converge EX23 is the Shinanju full weapon set. So this is coming out in August for 2,200 yen. It's the Converge Shinanju with a whole bunch of different option parts and things for that. So that's pretty cool if you miss the chance to get a Shinanju. And a Converge Shinanju are a little bit more expensive if you try to get one now. They're definitely not cheap because they're a little bit more rare. Very popular, of course. So this is a good chance to be able to get that. And you get a whole lot of different extra option parts and accessories and things for it. So that's pretty nice. We've got Gundam G-Frame Volume 3 coming out in September for 5,400 yen. Again, that's for a box of 10, so they're about 500 yen each. Volume 3 is including the RX-78-2, Sharazaku-2, and the Hyakushiki. So it's kind of interesting why this wasn't like Volume 1. That seems like the kind of lineup you would see in like Volume 1 of a new line of something Gundam related. RX-78-2, Sharazaku, and then something else really popular like the Hyakushiki. But whatever the case, this is Volume 3. Anyway, if you guys saw, I did reviews for Volume 1 for the 3 of those. This is Unicorn Gundam, the New, and the Sazabi. And I will be getting set Volume 2 as well. So Japan Toys in Australia is also going to be sending me a set of Volume 2 as well. So thank you to them for that. I should be getting that sometime in the next couple weeks. And I'll be doing reviews on those for you guys as well. They're pretty cool. Definitely would recommend, though, getting a set, like the set of the armor and the frame for that. Because you definitely need and want the parts for making it more articulated and everything. And what they actually decided to do, I'll just kind of derail for a moment to let you guys know about this. After seeing my video reviews of those and reading people's comments and things about that, what the folks at Japan Toys in Australia said that they had decided to do was make those available as just individual sets. So instead of having to buy a whole box of 10 of them or something, you can just buy just an individual set of like just the Sazabi, just the frame and the armor as just a set of just like the two of those together. So that's really cool. Like say if you didn't want to buy like a whole big box, you just want the G-Frame New Gundam, you can get that as just the set, everything you need there for the New Gundam. So that's pretty nice. I think that was a good idea on their part to do it like that, to sell them like that. Okay, other Robot Damashi news here. There's the Robot Damashi Banshee Norn SP Pack Real Marking version. So this one is out in September for 8,000 yen. Just a different kind of marking version of the Robot Damashi Banshee Norn. There's also the Robot Damashi Gym Cold Districts type version anime. Out in September for 6,000 yen. Still anxious to see if they're going to be making a master grade version of this, because we had the colony type master grade GM, so I wonder if they're going to make Cold Districts type as well. Really hope they do, because I like the design, I like the colors, it's a pretty cool design, but so far we just have it here in the Robot Damashi version anime line. Next thing is the Robot Damashi Ka Signature S Gundam is coming out in September for 14,000 yen. Previously, earlier in the video, we talked about the booster option parts set for this that's going to be coming out, but this is just the base kit of the S Gundam that you need for that. So 14,000 yen for this bad boy. It does look pretty cool, and we saw, I think it was last year, it came out maybe the XS Ka Signature Robot Damashi kit, and that one also looks really good. So these figures look really great, but yeah, they're just very expensive. Next thing here is the Robot Damashi Gyan version anime. The Gyan is coming out in August for 6,400 yen for that. So again, just looks very nice. All the version anime figures look really good. I'd say if you're like really into collecting those, you're probably spending a lot, but you're probably really enjoying collecting those. They're really nice figures. Alright, so let's get into the P Bandai stuff that we've got on the way. We've got the P Bandai Master Grade Gundam Avalanche Exia Dash out in August for 6,700 yen. I was really on the fence of this because as I mentioned in past videos, I really like the Avalanche Exia, but I really don't like the dash parts on the legs, so I was kind of on the fence whether I really wanted to get this or not. Oftentimes, I've really contemplated buying, once again, the 100 scale version of that. I had it ages ago, and I really like it, and I really wanted another 100 scale version of it, so I've often thought about buying another one of those, just the 100 scale non-grade Avalanche Exia. So I thought, oh, Master Grade, yeah. And this one is actually one of those that's going to be just a standard release for those of you in the US as well. And now just a reminder that just because it's a standard release just means that it's going to be more easily available for you guys, but there's not going to be more of the actual kit. So it's still going to be a limited amount of the kit. So if you do want to get it and you're living in the United States, I would say you still have to pre-order if you can, or just buy it like straight away if you can. Don't wait, because you know it's going to be a standard release in the United States, but it's still a premium Bandai release in Japan, so they're not going to be just like constantly reprinting more of these whenever there's a demand for them. Anyway, ultimately, I have decided to go ahead and pre-order that, and I will be getting that kit and reviewing it for you guys. Probably what I'll do with the dash parts for the legs is just kind of throw them in my spare parts bin and use them for some kit bash material or something to use later. Okay, and then we've got the P Bandai Master Grade Gelgoog 2.0 Anavel Gato Custom. This one's out in August as well for 5,400 yen. Now, well, I talked about before that I wanted the P Bandai Ace Pilot Log series to continue on with more Master Grade Gelgoogs. This is not really what I was talking about, because all this is just the regular Gelgoog 2.0 with a new rifle and a new color scheme and some new waterside markings for it. So I guess it's just not that all exciting. I mean, and I don't really like Gato's signature colors as well, so I actually have the high grade version of this. That came out years and years ago, the high grade P Bandai kit of Anavel Gato's Gelgoog. But yeah, it's got that new gun, and the gun is just like very like modern military looking style and doesn't really fit with a Gelgoog, I think. So I don't know about that. I'm sure this is maybe interesting to some people, but this is definitely one that I'm going to be passing on. Not the case with this one, however, though. This is the P Bandai Master Grade Gundam Stormbringer, and we're actually seeing some new images of that actually just out a few days ago. This one's out in September for 5,400 yen, and this one looks really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to this. So this one is basically going to be a sort of variation, or just like new parts and like, I guess, variation to the Jim Dominance, which is just out. I think that's like just been released maybe in Japan. I'll be getting the Jim Dominance as well, probably I think next month. So I'm looking forward to that. And yes, this is like, so taking the Jim Dominance, which is based on the Jim Sniper 2, and then we've got a variation of that now here with the Stormbringer. And I think it's a really cool looking design. In a lot of ways, it really reminds me of like the Gundam 7th. I think it's just like a similar shapes overall. It's kind of very angular, and like all of its shapes and details and everything, and obviously the color scheme, it really reminds me of the Gundam 7th. But it looks really cool, and I think that'll be a really, really fun kit. Also from the same, I guess it's a side story manga, we've got the Master Grade Polypod Ball. This is another P Bandai kit. This went out in August for 3,000 yen. Also really looking forward to this one as well. It's just so cool and unique looking. It's the ball, but it's got spider legs on it. It's not spider legs, it's only 4 legs in it. But it does look really cool. And I love all like the sample images that they've put out for it. It's like spinning and like kneeling and with the cannon, and it looks really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. It basically just looks like someone's like custom kit bash GBWC entry, basically just turned into a full release model kit for the most part. But I think that'll be a fun one to work with. And then there's the P Bandai HGUC Ground Gundam Parachute Pack set out in August as well for 2,000 yen. Also planning on getting this one. This one looks really, really cool. It's basically just the HGUC Ground Gundam, which just recently came out. It's not too long ago. And it's basically the ultimate pack of that. It comes with everything you could want in there, except for like a tiny little scale version of the Obsolesce. That'd have been cool. Like the old Jim Sniper HG 144 scale kit. But anyway, yeah, it comes with everything. It's got the parachute pack, obviously, it's like the big main parts for that, and then it comes with all the different weapons for it. It comes with the Jim head, and apparently it's a new mold of a Jim head for that as well. So if you wanted a Jim head Ground Gundam, you can recreate that with this pack as well. So really, really cool set. So really looking forward to that. This is the kind of set that I think if you're really into like the Ground Gundam, that you might even want to buy like more than one of these. So that's pretty cool. And the last P-Bandai thing here is the P-Bandai HG, the Origin Gym Sniper Custom. So there is a couple different versions of the Origin GM that we've seen, though we haven't got any more solid information on those that I've seen so far. But this one we do know is going to be coming out in August for 1,900 yen. And it's pretty interesting how this looks compared to the Master Grade. I think there's definitely pros and cons to both. I think there's a lot of aspects about the HG that I kind of like the look of that more than the Master Grade, to be honest. And so I haven't pre-ordered this. I don't plan on getting this one actually. Just because I think the details on these Origin GM kits look a little bit odd. They look just like a bit strange compared to the other kits from the line. I think like these Origin GM kits next to other Origin kits from the line, I think aren't really gonna look like they mesh well together. These ones look like overly detailed compared to the other ones, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, there is other parts though about the Gym Sniper Custom here, this version that I do like. It looks pretty cool. Moving on to the regular release stuff here, we've got the Perfect Grade Gundam Exia LED unit out in August for $150. The low price of just $150 for the light set for that. So if you were one of the ones who got just the standard Perfect Grade Exia kit, not the lighting model version, and now would like to light it up, you can get this set for $150. There you go. And then we've got the RE Yakudoga out in September for 4,500 yen. It's definitely on the more expensive side. Well, not most. The prices for these have been kind of all over the place, but the standard price kind of for the RE kits has been around 3,500 yen. This one's a little bit more expensive, but the Yakudoga is a pretty big mobile suit, I guess, and this one also does come with some pretty interesting like effect parts. So it's the Ginnigus custom color version, and we can assume that the Casparia version is going to be coming out as well as the P-Bandai kit. Probably it's just a color swap, and it has a different head and different gun. That's all. So yeah, I think the original prototype that we saw of this, it had some issues. It looked a little bit strange, especially the mono eye was too big. That was the big thing that people complained about, and that was the big thing that seems to now be fixed with the kit. The mono eye is now smaller as it should be, and the kit looks much better. It's amazing how just such a small thing can change the look of that so much. I still think there's some proportion bits of this kit that look a little bit off to me. The shoulders look too small, and just there's some bits about the proportion that look a bit odd, that I kind of prefer the proportions of the HG. And also some of the details seem very inconsistent on the kit. For the most part, it looks pretty good, but like especially on the legs, the blue parts of the legs and the shoulders, some of the paneling on there seems like pretty amateur, like not really, doesn't really make sense in a way. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just glad that we're getting a 100 scale version of the Yakudoga. I'm really excited about that. I love the design and I love the HG. It's actually one of my favorite HG kits, to be honest. But we'll have to see how the RE stands up to that. Another Master Grade we got coming out is the Master Grade 00 Quanta Full Saber out in September for 5,500 yen. I've never built the Master Grade Quanta, but the Real Grade was a lot of fun. I actually was never too interested in the design until building the Real Grade, and I was like, hey, it's a pretty cool design actually. So I'm looking forward to checking out the Master Grade as well, and this is the Full Saber version, so it's got extra saber parts. Basically, it's got the whole big extra sword, and it's got extra parts, or it's just like a different backpack that now has the bit off to the side there as well. So it's got a handful of new parts in there. It's pretty amazing that this wasn't released as a P-Bandai kit. I think it's just because Bandai knows that like the lead 00 suits do tend to sell pretty well. I mean, I guess even if it was a P-Bandai kit, it would sell pretty well too. For whatever reason, it's going to be a standard release kit, and so cool. And then, of course, what everyone's looking forward to is the Real Grade Sazabi out in August for 4,500 yen. It looks pretty amazing, I have to say. Compared to the Master Grade Verka, just in terms of like price aside, obviously the Master Grade is much more expensive. It's about double the price. Just based on like the looks and gimmicks and everything, it looks very comparable to the Verka. I think the Verka still is a little bit more in terms of like the armor opening gimmicks and things like that. Obviously, it's going to have more detail with just more space to fit more detail in there with it being a larger scale. But I think this RG kit does look pretty good. It looks pretty great. We haven't really seen actually any details about the frame, if it's going to be like the Shinanju and using like the Gundam Mark II frame or some other frame. I'm assuming they're going to be using a completely new frame for this kit. I really, really hope so. That definitely would make sense, but we'll just have to see about that. But yeah, the kit looks pretty fantastic. All the details, everything. It does have some armor opening gimmicks on it, which is pretty cool as well. And the weapons and everything, especially the beam effect parts for it, look really nice. The shield looks really nice. The changes that they made to the shield compared to the Master Grade. So really, really looking forward to that one as well. I haven't really been too excited for any Real Grade kits for a while. I mean, they just kind of looked like, okay, even the Unicorn, it's a really nice, solid kit. But this one, I'm really quite excited to check that out. It's quite interesting looking. And that's 29 in the real grade line. And with that coming out, you have to assume they're probably going to make a real grade new Gundam as well. So with the next one being, after that being number 30, it's kind of a big number. So possibly we might see the new Gundam coming out as real grade number 30. Who knows? That's just kind of my prediction, but I think that's very likely. Next thing is the HG Moon Gundam. Now, we've been seeing a lot of new images of this one as well, and it looks quite interesting indeed. This one's out in September for 3,000 yen. 3,000 yen for an HG seems pretty ridiculous, right? Considering it's not like it's like a big thing. It's going to be relatively large size, considering that it's like based on the Sazabi, actually in canon, so it should be pretty large. And the kit does look really nice. It looks like it has almost an entire inner frame there as well, and it's got all the effect parts, obviously like the moon bits kind of things with the effect parts. They're like white on the back, but then the clear red on the front. Those do look pretty interesting. Overall, the design does look pretty interesting, very nicely detailed, and just like the motions of that, we're now seeing it like in different poses and things as well, and it does look really, really nice. So I'm quite looking forward to that. It's a pretty interesting design. And then there's the HG Vargil, which is just a different version of that, basically. But in this case, we haven't seen any news about the Vargil, so I imagine it's still coming out, but maybe it'll be a P Bandai kit, or maybe that'll be coming out later in like October, possibly, or November, closer to the time when the Moon series is actually supposed to start. I think it's... Actually, when is the manga starting? I can't remember. Maybe the manga is starting in August or September, actually. No news really at the moment about the Vargil, so that's just kind of up in the air. Then moving on to Gundam Narrative. Also haven't seen any news about the Narrative Gundam, really, so can't really say too much about that at the moment anyway. And the same thing also goes here for the HG Shinanju Stein narrative version as well. We don't really have a set release date or price for that one either. It just says like autumn, so probably October, November, around that time. Narrative starts in November is when that first premieres, so probably around that time. The Shinanju Stein might come out before that. The Narrative Gundam, though, I would assume would probably come out around the same time in November, so probably going to be a little bit of a wait for that. The Shinanju Stein does look really cool. I'm really glad that we're actually getting an HGC version of the Shinanju Stein. That's pretty awesome. The Master Grade, by all accounts, is fantastic. I have mine. I still haven't built it yet. But having that in 1/44 scale is just a nice HG kit will be cool as well. And then a couple of HG Build Custom sets coming out in August. There's the HG Build Custom Machine Rider out in August for 1,200 yen. This one it's pretty stupid. It looks like it's a frame arms like option part set, and it's just a motorcycle, and it's cool that they give you like 3 or 4 different options for like the front of the motorcycle, so you have some different options there, which is cool. But if you look at like, there's a sample image here of the Leo NPD riding on it, and the Leo NPD is a pretty small kit as far as 1/44 scale HG kits go, and the bike looks small for the Leo, so this thing is going to be small, really small. Anything larger than the Leo, it's going to look like comically small. So this is just kind of a pretty dumb looking release. I don't know. I'm sorry if that offends any of you guys who are like really pumped about this release, really wanted to get Bandai's like motorcycle for your kit to ride on, but I can't imagine this is going to be a really big seller. There's also the HG Build Custom Sky High Wings out in August as well for 800 yen. This one as well, I think, will probably be popular just because people will be stoked about like buying a set of wings to slap onto the back of your kit. Personally, I think it looks pretty stupid, but I can see how that will probably be popular enough anyway. And then there's a handful of SD cross silhouette kits that are still on the way. We have the Zeta Gundam out in August, and then there's also, we've seen prototypes of the Freedom Gundam and the Ifrit as well, but I haven't seen any more information regarding those yet. I would say probably September for those as well, just later on in the future. But again, can't really say too much about the SD cross silhouette kits really yet, just because haven't built them, so I'll have to get those built up, and then in the next month's episode I'll probably be able to give my opinion about the line so far in better detail. But at the moment they look interesting. Anyway, I like the fact that you can put the frame in there to make them a little bit longer, a little bit more normally proportioned, and improve their articulation. They do look pretty cool. Alright, and so let's move on to talking about some third-party stuff. There's actually no third-party or resin kits that I want to talk about specifically in this month's episode. There's a couple things, like there's a full resin kit of the Kshatriya that's coming out in like 100 scale, but that's just like a recast of something, so it's really kind of like, if you guys are interested, you can check that out. Anyway, it's all on Samuel Decal's page and elsewhere online. But Just kind of a couple of points of news related to third-party stuff. Dragon Momoko was shut down a few months ago now by the Chinese police after Bandai decided to only go after them, strangely enough, not after Daban or any of these other companies. But Dragon Momoko, yeah, was taken down, and I guess they had their day in court, and I think it was just like the owner of the company. I'm not sure if any of the other members involved, any other people involved with the company, but the owner, I guess, had to pay, I think, a big fine and sentenced to jail time. So there's some big news about over the past week. There's been a lot of news about that. So that sucks for him. And I would say, yeah, it seems safe to say Dragon Momoko is not coming back anytime soon. At least not anything like how it was before. But don't worry, I'm sure there'll be plenty of other similar things coming out in the future. And the only really other point of news that I just wanted to mention was Samuel Decal, again, actually has his website working again. So if you guys are unfamiliar, basically he was doing majority of his business through his Facebook page for the most part, and email, just because he had a website, but it was just like in desperate need of updating for the longest time. It was like under construction, is like being updated, but it's finally updated and it seems to be working pretty well. So if you guys do live, especially if you live like around Southeast Asia, where your shipping is pretty close to where he's located in Hong Kong, I recommend ordering stuff with him. So if you haven't tried before, or if you wanted to give it a try, you can check out his website. I'll put a link to that down below as well. Should be easier to use than using his Facebook page and just email, which was just, a lot of people complained about that it wasn't very convenient to use. It wasn't easy to get in contact with him and stay in contact with him and order with him and everything. So anyway, hopefully that should be working out much better now and into the future. Alright, and just to wrap up the episode, we'll talk about a few featured builds here. The first one is a Master Grade Arc 782 Gundam 2.0 Open Hatch custom build by ya boy Naoki. Naoki has done some pretty cool work here with this. I really like this, and we've seen different versions of different open hatch things, but what he's done a little bit differently that I haven't seen done all that often is a lot of little hatches. Like, so usually when you see open hatch stuff, it's like you'll have like the whole armor panel is just like set up at an angle with something. But what he's done is like he has like a lot of these just like little mini hatches where it's just like almost like the lever kind of hatch, like the handle of the hatch is like open as well. So that's a really cool, interesting take on this that I haven't really seen done quite like that before, I don't think. So it's definitely a really interesting build, and obviously it's done in typical Naoki fashion, how it's just painted and weathered really, really nicely. He does this just really subtle weathering that just looks really, really good. Fantastic as always, and just the painting and colors, everything, all really nice, crisp, beautiful build all around. And I just really like the style that he did for the open hatch gimmick on this. So really, really nice. As usual, guys, if you want to see more images of any of the feature builds, you can check in the description down below. There's links to seeing these images, at least what few images there are available to see. You can see them in more detail if you check that, better than just looking at what's here in the video frame. The next one here is a Master Grade Rick-Dom Thunderbolt version, custom build by Billy Ray Estrada. Now, people have been clamoring for an HD Thunderbolt Dom, but what he's done here is made one kind of using the Master Grade kits, and so it's pretty interestingly done. He's made some different modifications there. Most noticeably, modifications to the chest. It looks very cool. He's added like a lot of panel line separation there too, scribing to make new panel lines around kind of all over the kit. And then even did a lot of like painting in like different color tones. So you have like the different panels are all in like slightly different colors. It's all like the typical colors of like black and purple, but there's a lot of different variations in black, different versions of gray, and different variations of purple within the different purple there. It's almost a little bit too busy for me, like, to be honest, but I think it does look really cool, and just the modifications themselves look solid. Just the modifications he's made just with the backpack and the chest, and using the Rick Dom bazooka there, modifications he's made to that. That's what I really like about this build, is just the modifications, just in terms of like new parts that he's built or like scrapped together using whatever parts. Obviously parts for the backpack and parts for the Mega Bazooka. I'm not really sure what that's called. They're probably taken from the Saikozaku. It's a really cool kit, to be sure, and there's other parts of the build that are modified and tweaked here and there, quite a lot of it actually. So it is some pretty fantastic work here. I really like that. You can definitely tell it's very, very detailed. So while I say in some parts it almost looks a little bit too detailed for my personal taste, that's just my personal taste. I'm sure for some of you guys who just love having a lot of detail and everything on there, you're probably liking that. So there's just a lot of decals and everything all over it as well too, on all the different armor panels and everything, and just all the dark colors like purple and black, and then all the white decals pop out quite a lot, and there's a lot all over the kit. So that's a little bit busy for my personal aesthetic taste, but really cool. Just build, just like overall, just the different modifications and everything these made, and just super clean modifications, and scribing everything looks really nicely done just technically, and just the color choices of just like a little bit kind of muted purple colors. It's not like a really bright purple, and the different grays and blacks and everything on that. So it looks really nice for sure. Definitely check out the images of that so you can see these in more details and like look at all the little details and everything that he's added on this and modified on that. It looks really cool. The next one here is a Master Grade Crossbone Gundam X1 full cloth custom build by Chris Pabst. I'm not sure, I think that's pronounced correctly, but if you guys know anything about my personal taste, you can probably guess right away why I really like this one. The colors on this kit are so good. I really love the colors on this. It's just white and gray, like different variations of that. It's kind of like that real grade style, like two-tone colors within the white, and then that really light lavender color purple just looks so good with that, and then that bright kind of like orange bit there for the different accents, different vents, a couple different spots there, and then the V-fin. Colors on this look so nice, and especially on the full cloth, how he's got like the masking effect on the cloth parts on the outside. There's like the it's like the little bit darker purple, and then it's got like the really light lavender just like pattern just masked on that. It looks so good, and then the different decals on that, all the decals look super nice. I especially love like on the shoulder, the like bright red skull heart logo there on the shoulder looks really cool. And he's gone in and done some different modifications to this as well, just modifying a few parts here and there, a little bit of detailing up, looks like scribing some bits, and just subtle things to just kind of improve on the base model. And I think it came out looking really fantastic. So I really like this build, and like I like the crossbone as much as the next guy. I'm not one of those people who's like super obsessed with the crossbone, as I know some people who really love the crossbone and all its different variations. But I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorite crossbone builds that I've seen, and a lot of that is just due to the colors, but I mean everything else is just a really nice and clean looking build. Really fresh. Next one here is a high-grade Gundam Hazel Osla with the gigantic arm unit. Is a custom build by Hey It's K. You can check out his Facebook page, actually. I have a link to that down below, where he actually shared a bunch of different work-in-progress photos and things of this, but it's a really cool build. As you guys know, I love anything from Advance of Zeta. I love the Hazel, and I really wish that Bandai would actually put this out as an actual kit. Now that Bandai is doing kind of more Advance of Zeta kits with the HG Woundwort coming out and the different versions of the Master Grade Hazel coming out, the Advanced Hazel and the Hazel Custom, maybe we'll see them do a P Bandai set of like the HG Hazel with the big arm unit. I think that's very wishful thinking. But anyway, fingers crossed. But let's talk about this build, because this build is really nice. So basically what he did was just to custom make this using different part sets. So of course he had to use the Primrose part set, as well as the Hurudu part set, and then just the arms, obviously taken from the HG Psycho Gundam. And had to rig that all together onto the back, doing some just custom building there, and it came out looking fantastic. I think he did a really good job of recreating just the look and the colors, especially from like the original artwork. The colors are just really spot on. The whites and the dark colors, the yellow, the red for the fingertips on especially on the big arm unit. Everything just looks really cool, fantastic details, and the amount of decals on there as well, I think, is really nicely done. It's a little thing, but I think there's a lot on there, but it's not overdone with decals. You can definitely go overboard with them, so I definitely have to give him props on knowing when to say when it comes to decals, which areas you think you really need them and which areas you don't. So that's something that it takes me a long time. If I'm building a kit that like it shows you where to put all the decals, that's easy enough, and that goes by really quick. But if it's something that I'm doing all the decals on the custom, man, putting on like custom decals, it takes so long planning out where you want to put everything. And so Yeah, I can imagine that that took a while for this build, just planning out all the decal placement on that. And I think it came out really good. So that's just a small thing that I noticed that I really like about this as well. And he's taken that base, that custom base that you can like set your own like kind of like postcard or something in there, and then put like the Titans logo there underneath that as well. So all in all, makes for a really cool like just build here. Very nice. Check out his Facebook page and look at the work in progress photos and everything that he's got on there. And it's also a great place. He also shares like Gundam memes and other things on there as well. So if you guys are into that, you can check that out on his Facebook page as well. So great job on that, Kay. It's really nice. And the last one we'll look at here is the Real Grade Unicorn Gundam Band Dessinée version Mercury kit here, painted by MatMat. So MatMat, famous and professional Japanese builder. Follow him on Twitter if you don't, because he's pretty amazing. If you really like the kind of like really bright colors and like really fresh, clean looking, awesome builds that you see like of these Japanese models that just do like this super clean work, like really nicely painted, he's one of those to be sure. And this unicorn is so nice. Basically what he's done is got the real grade unicorn, and the cycle frame is all in like chrome silver. It looks really nice. It's just like, and then all the dark blue for the backpack, and the feet is in black, and the center part is in black. And so it's just like all black and white and silver, and it's just only got the color there for like some of the red markings, some of the decals, and then just the yellow, bright like orange yellow for the V-fin. Very visually delicious. I don't know what I wanted to say there, but it looks really good. I really like the look of this unicorn. And just when you think you've seen the unicorn and everything, and I've seen other like painted versions of the unicorn, I'm sure, where the psycho frame is in like deactive version or something, where they've painted the psycho frame in gray or silver or something. But I don't know, it just looks so good here with his work on this, and he always just does fantastic and really super clean and pretty looking work, and this is certainly no exception. So again, follow him on Twitter if you don't, and if you don't have Twitter, then I'd say make a Twitter account just to follow him and other Japanese builders. There's loads of amazing work out of Japan that you can just follow on Twitter. It's a really great source of inspiration. So follow MatMat and check out this work in more detail there. It's really cool. On his website, I'll have the link to his website where he's got all of his work there. It's definitely worth checking out because he does a lot of really fantastic work. I really loved the work that he did painting up the high-res Wing Gundam. Very nice. So that's it for this month's episode. Just to end, I'll just kind of talk about a couple of personal things. The Tristan project is still here. I've still got the Tristan project on my desk. It's not dead. People keep saying it's still probably a daily comment that I see, at least on my videos. R.I.P. Tristan. I know it's just become a meme at this point, so there's no point in me even talking about it. And I gave up answering any comments about it. Anytime anyone comments anything about the Tristan, I just ignore it. I don't respond anymore. But yeah, I am still planning on working on the Tristan. I'm just taking some time to finish up some other things. I've got commissions that I want to finish. Those are like things that are like I'm actually being paid for, so I have to do those that are kind of higher priority. I did the Mega Shiki HG kit that I wanted to paint up. That was just because I was sent the sample paints from Scott at SMS, so that's not something I'm necessarily being paid for, but you know, like Scott was kind enough to send me paints to try out, so I want to see that project through. That project is done. Basically, that was been done for a couple weeks now, maybe like 2 weeks, but I needed some time to just make a custom base for it, so that's done as well. So probably very soon, over the next couple days, you guys should see my finished work of the Mega Shiki. And then just like I've got like 7 different small little works in progress here on my desk, and I just kind of want to get some of this other stuff like just done and out of the way. So I've got a couple other things here too that are like basically almost done that I'm just trying to finish up, and I'm just about to start later this weekend. I'll start working on washing and priming the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. That's for a commission. And so just once I'm getting some of this other stuff, just kind of these other projects done and out of the way, then I can kind of come back and work more on the Tristan project. So I will be working on that more. It's not dead, just wait, I guess. I don't know. And I've also seen a couple of comments of people pointing out the fact that lately it seemed like it's just a lot of reviews, just review on my channel, and not really a whole lot of other like tutorials or building videos and things like that. And that's just because like the stuff that I've been working on building is not really all that interesting in terms of needing to show like anything special in terms of the techniques or something I'm doing. It's just painting and building and decals. It's nothing like too out of the ordinary, like doing some super custom work or anything. So like with the Mega Shiki, I did a couple of modifications to that, and I did a work in progress video to show you guys that. But other than that, it's just kind of painting decals, nothing really too special. So there just really hasn't been a whole lot to show of the other work that I've been doing, and just because of the fact that I've just had a stack of reviews just like queued up, and I still at the moment there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kits here in the queue that are built and ready to be reviewed. I just have to review them, and then I've got a couple of, like I said, the SD Cross Silhouette RX-782 and the Nightingale. Just got those, so I had to build up those, and those will be added to the review queue as well. And then obviously the big box of stuff that I just got the other day too as well, with a whole bunch of more stuff to add to the to-do list. So I'm trying to keep a balance of working on my own stuff and then working on reviews for you guys, because I have to keep that going with the different content. But just remember, I don't know, yeah, for the time being it's a lot of reviews, but I am working on other stuff still too, and so just be patient. Yeah, or if you want to, if you really want to see me doing more and more just building and tutorials and things like that, then consider becoming a patron, because if I'm able to, you know, get that up to a viable degree that I am able to do this as like a full-time job in the future, then that'd be great, and I'd have plenty of time. Not plenty of time, I'd have definitely more time than I do now to do a lot more of different like tutorials and building videos and things like that, all the kind of stuff that I know people would like to see more of. It's just the fact that I do have a full-time job and a family, a wife and 2 babies, and so my time to actually work on that kind of thing is pretty limited, as I'm sure most of you guys know that already, and most of you guys are cool, and I don't get bothered about this a lot. It's just like some people, I'm sure that like it's people who have maybe like just found my channel like a month ago, and they've only seen like a handful of videos and haven't really seen a whole lot about like my personal life, and so they just say like, where's all the new tutorial videos or something. They've watched like my past tutorial videos, and they've noticed I haven't made any for a while, so like, how come you don't make any tutorial videos anymore? Yeah, I don't know. So just wanted to mention that, just because I have seen people commenting about it. But that's it. This video has gone on long enough, so I won't really draw it out too much longer with more of this rambling about things, but just wanted to let you guys know that basically the Tristan Project is not dead. That's the point of this whole rant. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. See you next time.